answer. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Beyond the Gold podcast with me, Anna, your favorite Anna in the whole wide world. We have the greatest story to be told today. It is my birth story. You gonna come say hi? Sit down. I guess Duke is here with us. Hi. Okay. Let's preface this because today it's like 1 year since my water broke, but reverse. His role in my birth was like this big. I was left during labor twice. I was left first for the gym, which is probably when he told his horror. I was in labor, don't text. And then also when I was in the middle of toilet labor at night, I was left alone by myself so he could meet up with a buddy. Birth story. But anyways, so let's start from the beginning. And the reason why I just felt like it was actually good timing to do this episode now is because we are like 365 days ago today, in the middle of the night, I woke up. I had a dream that I had had an accident, and I woke up and my water literally broke. And so it's weird, like today I actually woke up around the same time as I did last year. It's like interesting, and I've kind of had like mild cramps all day, so I guess it's like sympathy pains or something like that. So say hi, Dookie. I know. So a whole year ago, woke up middle of the night around 1 or 2 a.m. and this is August 3rd. Woke up, gush, water broke. And I remember I was like, I think my water broke. And the night before, I remember saying too, like I felt so bloated. Huckleberry. I'm yelling at my deaf dog. No. Shh. Anyways, so I woke up from my dream where I thought I had an accident, that I had wet my pants. Well, I woke up, stood up, gush. My water broke. And it felt like I just could not control my bladder. It was just coming out. And by the way, there's going to be so many it's not gory. It's details. It's birth. It's all the things. It's not nasty. It's just birth. So I went through lots of pairs of underwear. I had just continuously thought oh my God, I can't control this. And so I had let my midwife and my doula know, I think my water broke. And they're like, are you having contractions? I was not having contractions. This was still 2:30 in the morning, maybe 3. And so they're like, okay, go back to bed. Yeah. So I tried to go back to bed, but I was anxious. And in my head, I was like, oh my gosh, the house is a mess. I thought I still had 3 weeks at the very least, because they say every mom, new mom, expect to go past your due date. And so I was anticipating going past my due date. And I was supposed to have house cleaners come. They didn't get a chance to do that. So I had my mom come. My mom came and helped clean up the house. And I really just rested most of the day. Chilled out. Nothing picked up until probably that evening. My midwife had came around 5 o'clock on the 3rd. And so this was my water broke pretty much for at least 12 hours. And she came, checked on me. I was not dilated enough, or even I was dilated, whatever. And she was just like, okay, we're going to have you get the castor oil drink. And it's a concoction you can make, and it's supposed to just really cleanse you, kind of progress labor. But when she had seen me, she was like, let's wait on that, because you're going to be up all through the night, because it's going to make you go to the bathroom. And I was like, okay. She's like, so we'll have a baby tomorrow, because she had another baby in labor, or another mom in labor. And so I want to say by 8 o'clock, I was left alone by myself, and I was really on the toilet a lot. They call it the dilation station. Really good spot to labor, but my contractions were getting more intense at this point. And then I kept my doula updated, because the goal is to keep your doula most updated first, and her and midwife will be in contact. The midwife is not supposed to come basically until it's time to go, time to push. And just a little snippet, my doula and midwife both knew that things were rough. They knew I was alone most of my pregnancy. They knew like I was having a hard time mentally and I just felt really down. Just keep that in mind. And then, so now it's like 9 or 10, and I had this app on my phone where you can like link it with your doula and midwife where they could see your contractions in lifetime. But to be honest, I was like, I don't even know if I'm having contractions. Is it like when the pain starts and stops? Like, I don't know. So I was sharing it with my doula. I was also on the phone with her, and like they did best by like just listening to me going through my contractions, because at this point, like, I'd asked her like, can I get in my bathtub? Because we had a whole birthing pool and all the things. But midwife was going to tell us when to set it up, or we were supposed to, I don't know. There's like little fuzzy details. So my midwife was like, yeah, just get into plain warm water. You're totally fine. And I had taken baths all through pregnancy, so I felt super comfortable. However, I think Jax felt comfortable in there too, because that's when like things really started moving. I'm like, he's comfortable. My contractions are more intense, but they're tolerable at this point. And so I want to say it was around 11, close to midnight, when my doula was like, all right, I'm going to head over your way. And so she headed over my way. I guess she was in touch with my midwife the whole time. She gets there around 1 a.m. So now we are into the fourth. So like, yeah, I guess it was a long labor, but really nothing started happening until like Saturday night, because Jax was born on a Sunday. So nothing really started like progressing till Saturday night. And then I think my midwife had told my doula, like, yeah, get the pool ready. So they were getting my birth pool ready, filling it up with the warm water. And it's like a little out of order. But when my midwife came to check on me, they have like this test they could do to see if like it's your amniotic fluid, to see if your water broke. And she was like, it's not showing up, like, but we're gonna say it's your water broke. So it's kind of odd. And I was like, I'm pretty sure like my water broke. And then let's see. So now doula is here. Kari is here. I want to say I must have been in my tub when she got there. It was just uncomfortable. I'm trying to think of the feelings like to describe. Was it just felt like intense like period cramps. And so while everyone was filling up the pool, my midwife had also arrived. She just came straight from another mom who was in labor, and we were still filling up the pool at that time. And then they filled it up for me. I was able to get in. It was so cozy in there. Like I immediately felt comforted. And I want to say like the pool was like, we're almost like I could be in there chilling. It wasn't like a kiddie pool. It was full size, super comfy, lots of room. And I just remember like maybe for an hour they were setting up. They set up like it looked like a little mini, not a hospital, but midwives are like they are just as prepared as a doctor is, if not more, because they really tune into you. That's why I wanted to do the whole home birth holistic route, was because I wanted it to be personalized for me and not feel like a number. And so, they line my whole wall. They have an oxygen tank, all their medical bags, all the things they need, and all things I'll need. And so Megan, my midwife, she did a check on me. I think I was maybe at like a 6. And she was like, okay, we're going to come back and check on you every 30 minutes. And so her and Kari stepped out. And at this point, like, I really kept telling myself, the whole time I kept telling myself, like, this is going to keep getting worse. Tolerate the pain, like, walk yourself through it. And I could tell, like, I wasn't far along. Like, I don't know, my body knew. And in my head, like, I had just done a lot of research. And so, like, I didn't realize how prepared I was for this until I reflect on it. So now must be like 2 or 3 in the morning, and 30 minutes went by, I'm assuming, but like no one had came back. I think everyone was taking a nap. But at this point though, I think this was the most perfect time thing. I'm pretty sure they knew what they were doing, but I needed time to get back into my zone and in my mind, because birth is all mental for me. It's like 90% mental, I think I read. I just needed to get back in my headspace. And at this point, it felt like hours. They were gone. They were not. They were just in the living room. But I was able to actually sleep in between contractions. and hum, and it was dark, and my little essential oil diffuser going, and a birth comb. And the birth comb really was to distract like from the pain. So I would squeeze it through my contractions, but I was able to just like through every contraction. And that really helped. And I really did feel like I got some rest. And then at some point, obviously things are progressing and I was so cozy. And then at one point I get up and like I transition to all fours in the pool and I just let out a roar. And the way my mom describes it, she was like, you'll never get that out of your head. Yeah, it was painful. It was just a huge transition now in labor. And so everyone comes rushing in except homeboy because he was sleeping and I was literally left alone during all this. He did not wake up when everybody else did. My mom had to get him up. Anyways, and so they like felt the water and are like, hey, your water's kind of cold. Like, why don't we get you out? Let's move. Let's transition. Maybe go for a walk. And I was like, no, 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 no. I'm comfortable here. They're like, hey, let us at least put warm water in the pool. So I get out on my bed and they said, oh, I think at this point I got up and I had bloody show. And I already knew, like, that's good. That means progress. And so I was like, hey, I'm bleeding. And I kind of said it just like that. And they were like, it's okay. And I was like, I know. And they're like, this is good. So I go on my bed and now they pull out the TENS machine, which is like if you've been in physical therapy or a chiropractor, it's like those patches and it tingles and you could change the setting. Well, like my contractions were going now. And my midwife wanted to do another check on me. I was like, okay, after this contraction. But my contractions like were pretty consistent now. They have been. And then I'd be like, okay, as soon as the contraction stopped, I'm like, okay, go, go, go. And so I want to say by that time she had checked me, she had like, didn't even need to finish her exam. And she's like, okay, you're ready. But at this point, I was comfy on the bed now. I was laying across the bed. She had it on my back. And I was like, okay, push the button. Even though I had the button next to me, I needed someone else to push it. And then I want to say they said, you know, on all fours is comfortable too. So I'm on all fours and my body started pushing. And so they were like, hey, Anna, we know you said you wanted to give birth in the pool. Like, we think you should get in the pool. And I'm like, no. And they're like, Anna, we think you should get in the pool. At this point, they knew baby was coming. I didn't. I just kept telling myself, like, it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse in terms of pain. So, like, stop thinking this is it because we need to keep going. We need to get through it. And I think, I mean, obviously at some point I gave in and I want to say they just said that I finished a contraction, got up, just walked in the pool. I didn't need any help. I just walked right in. And they did say it was okay to push at this time. So now we are past, I think we're around the 7:30 o'clock time, right around then. And I said I could push. And my body was just pushing. They say like your body just knows what to do. That's so true because my body was just pushing. And then she was like, you can reach down and feel the head. And I was like, no, I'm good. I was scared. And it was at that point when I had went back into the pool where I was like, oh my God, like I just had my last night without a baby. Like I'm actually having a baby today. So it really took until they were like, yeah, get back in the pool. Like we don't need to finish the exam. Like you're there. You're out of 10. And they just that put it into perspective. Like I'm actually having a baby right now. And I really wanted my dogs with me. They were able to be with me towards the beginning, but you could tell they were so stressed, so worried about me. And then let's see. So now we're in a pool, pushing. She's like, you can feel the head. I was like, no. And then now I'm feeling the ring of fire. The ring of fire was by far the worst part. I would rather go through another day of early labor than experience that. But I also knew like, fuck, we are right there. And so in my head, and I'm telling you, I literally remember it clear as day. Like the way it worked was I was like, okay, ring of fire means the baby's about to come. You are feeling the baby stretch you out. And in my head, I'm like, well, fuck. If I got to feel the ring of fire again, why don't I just do it one more time, push, and then no more ring of fire? That was my math through my head. And I remember also talking through it just out loud, because I'm like a talk it out loud with everybody. I'm like, I think I feel the ring of fire. I don't like it. I don't like it. And so I was like, fuck it, push. And his head was out at this point. And so she was like, you can reach down and feel the head. And I'm like, I'm good, I'm good. And I'm like leaning over the pool at this point. And then this is when I finally pushed. Jax was coming out. My midwife, he was kind of like floating towards the back. So like she helped guide him up, birthed him out. There was no like blood. My water was still like clear in the pool. He came out bright eyed. And it was a surprise. So look, it's a boy. And he's crying immediately. So perfect. Megan's checking on him. They give me a towel, put him on my chest immediately. I don't know how long it was between like birthing him and birthing the placenta, but my placenta did come out. I barely had to push, kind of just floobitied out. I caught my placenta. I had Jax on me. I remember looking at homie, just like, come here. Like he was not even there. They had to tell him to come here. And I don't care, it's not shock or anything, but like he literally was not there. I maybe got my head rubbed a couple times. But other than that, I did on my own. And I remember like, can you get my mom? Can you get my mom? Telling Kari, my mom. And she came in. She didn't even know I had him. She was like, oh my God. And she gave me the biggest hug. And she was just so excited for me. And I have, birth pictures of her being so excited. And it was 8:11. And I remember like the sun had just came up. I love Sundays. Like it was just the most perfect thing. And I'm trying to think, it got really like blurry in between then, but we were both healthy. They checked on us multiple times. We did the delayed cord clamping so we could get all the rest of the blood from the placenta. I did a placenta tour. I got to see like where like your water breaks, you can see the little hole where he was nestled in there. I thought it was so cool. And I'm like a touch everything. We were able to keep my placenta, preserve that, and cut it up and all that fun stuff. And also trying to think, it was just like that euphoria, the birth high. You don't know it until you experience it, but it was so amazing. And they even like not let me take a shower. I didn't even think past birth kind of thing. They let me take a shower, and I just remember in the shower like the water running over me, and I'm like, wow, like I just gave birth. Oh my gosh, I just gave birth. I remember saying that throughout my whole shower. And we waited a while to weigh Jax and do all his measurements and initial tests, or like, I don't know, just initial measurements and the fun stuff. And my mom made me the best toast and scrambled eggs ever. It was just the most amazing thing. And I was just so hungry. And I didn't restrict myself eating like during pregnancy, but just something about that meal. Like I just worked so hard, and I hadn't ate a ton, but I ate throughout labor. It was just the most beautiful thing. Like I obviously remember it like it was yesterday. It was just the best damn thing. I did tear. They just fixed me up right there on my bed. I remember there were so many people who were like, I can't believe you're having a home birth, like shot me down. And in my head, I'm like, yeah, you were wrong. I'm trying to think what else. It was so amazing. It was really the most amazing thing. The way God just made it all happen for me. I couldn't have asked for a better experience. Well, I know I'm not going to say I could have asked. It happened the way it was supposed to. And so now, like reflecting back after a year, it's so crazy. And I feel like now this is like reflection. I feel like I've been lucky since I've been here for Jax's everything, or all his firsts and everything. I'm excited for him to turn 1. I'm not really in the mindset of like, oh my God, I can't believe he's turning 1. I'm so sad. I'm not sad that he's turning 1. I think where sadness, there is a chunk of sadness in me. I think where that comes from is it's like a year ago, I was so miserable. My heart was in the middle of breaking. I had to like pause heartbreak, give birth, and again, it was the most amazing thing. Like, I give it all its time, everything. But like, I am really sad. um because like, I had a hell of a year, and I don't feel like I missed out on a ton of motherhood stuff in terms of being supported. Yes. It is a struggle. It was a struggle. It is a struggle. It's still a current struggle for me because I'm doing all these things by myself. And it's just a sad story. Like, there's no way around it. It's so sad. And it does define me. I can't be like, I can't let it define me. It does, because it's part of my story. In terms of like where I'm sad, I'm still trying to navigate like where. And I think it's just, I'm sad because like I've been so hurt in between all this, and I still can't, won't, haven't, even though I'm allowed to let myself feel these emotions. It's hard to let myself, because I just feel like I can be sad and cry, and I probably won't stop crying. And I was robbed of like being taken care of and all that stuff. But I don't need to drag the horrible person, because of all the beauty that I have in my life, the dragging is done all on its own. um I have done so much with and for my Jax. He's the most amazing human. Like, I am so in love with him. Like, everything he does, I think, is the coolest thing. um but yeah, it's grief, and it's so heavy in me. And I feel like it's just because everything still is technically fresh. I just feel like it's all like, you can't help but think, well, this time last year this happened, this time last year this happened, this time last year. Like, I can't help but think, and now that I know so much more, it's hard not to think about that. But like, I was being so mistreated and taken advantage of again at my most vulnerable point in my life. um So it's just that sadness I'm trying to navigate, but I'm also like not trying to take that away from Jax. It's, again, nothing is his fault. It will never be his fault. But I'm trying to, like, again, this is me currently trying to process it as I'm making this. I could tell where I'm healing. I could tell where I'm healed. I could tell where I still need a little bit of help. Um, I just, I'm like a talk it out kind of person. I guess I could say the biggest takeaway with all of this is, like, really look at who is there for you in these big moments of your life. You can't force anybody to change by having a baby. You can't force anybody to change unless they want to change. um, I'm at a pretty sweet spot in my life right now. I have all these struggles, different kinds of struggles, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I would have these struggles over being mistreated at any point. um, but I just thought it was perfect to do this birth story now. I just think I had the most beautiful birth. And it's kind of hard because I do envy the people that I see. Of course, it's on social media where it's like they had such a beautiful birth, they had such a supportive partner. It's envy because it's like I deserve to have support in that way. Again, my most vulnerable moment. Um, so that part is hard. I think it's crazy we made it here to a year. I can't wait to celebrate him tomorrow. It was really hard because I wanted to do, or in my head, I think I wanted or expected myself to do like a huge first birthday. Um, but I realized, like, after thinking about it, I'm like, I am feeling sad every time I'm thinking about doing something big. And I think it really was just because I wanted cute pictures and stuff. So we ended up doing something really small and kind of last minute, but it was the most perfect day yesterday. Um, Being able to celebrate him with my close loved ones, my family, um, because I'm still like really sad, and I didn't feel like wanting to keep an image up of like, oh, we're so happy, my boy's turning one, all these things. Like, no, I am so sad. I was going through some shit. I am going through some shit, and I don't want to hide it. I want to be sad if I want to be sad. I just want to see Jax. Of course, like, I'm not going to remember it, but I still like want him to know he's so loved. And you could tell he's so loved. But I'm still navigating. Obviously, it's not a linear process, but I just feel like, I don't know. I didn't know what to expect when a year hit. I really thought I was going to want to be, typical, let's do a big thing for him. But it was the most perfect day yesterday. It was like the most fun I've had in so long with him. I love spending my time with him. Um, I'm so lucky and so grateful. No, I'm not lucky because I deserved for everything to happen the way it did in terms of how it ended up for me. Um, yeah, I know that's like a lot. I'm trying to think if I forgot about anything. But I think I had the most beautiful birth. If I could relive it over again and again and again, I would. I had the best midwife, I had the best doula. If you are considering a home birth or even like just want to know more about it, I am so happy to talk and chat about it because I love it so freaking much. And I feel like I had such a beautiful experience. Um, and I can easily debunk all your pros and cons of doctors or not. I am here to debate. That is one thing I will debate with you. um, so yeah, I just feel like it really helped me, this home birth and just doing everything I did with birth and pregnancy. It really helped me shape this strong human being I am today because it's, you really know your worth. It wasn't the hardest thing I've ever done. The hardest thing I've ever done was go through this shit I went through. It was the most beautiful thing I have ever done. And I am so fucking obsessed with sharing it. And so I'm glad I finally got to sit down and make a video of it, or about it. Um, but definitely recommend hiring a birth photographer, a doula. No matter what, I believe everybody needs a doula. Um, and again, I will always say this: use your support system, use your village, not use bad, but like say yes to help. That is one thing I'm struggling with right now, is like asking for help. I need so much help. It's so hard. Um, just ask. You're not going to look dumb. If anything, like be vulnerable. Being vulnerable is great. We need more love in the world with everything that's happened, positive, negative, with me over this past year. No matter what, it's made me want to love more, love harder. Um, just do it and say fuck it and do everything you want to do. Um, trust your gut. That is so important. I have such like a wide community now of people who've gone through it, or just like obviously motherhood has made me gain a bigger village, but definitely, definitely trust your gut, trust yourself, and love yourself. You can't get anywhere without loving yourself, no matter what, whether it's in your business, your love life, even just progressing in life. Like, love yourself and your little humans that come along with you. But yeah, that is my most beautiful birth story. I'm trying to think. I think that's it. But I love you guys, and I have no idea when the hell I'm going to make another video because I'm just busy and this shit's hard. So I'm going to try and have this finished so I can post it tomorrow on Jax's big day. But yeah, love you guys so much, and I'm so happy. Okay.